it's kind of crazy when somebody is using your identity. This could create a lot of problems. So in today's conversation, I want to explain to you. I want to show you how to check if someone is using your identity. Okay. So here is a prologue I want you to really pay attention to. What happens here is that when I speak about somebody using your identity, the person can actually use your identity for a lot of stuff. Like, they can open a bank account, they can buy a house, they can actually even apply for a job under your name. In other words, you're sitting there, you're probably John Doe, and you have another John Doe somewhere in Missouri or in Georgia, actually using your social, buying cars, buying a house, doing a lot of things under your name, and this could create a lot of problem. Okay, so the whole issue of identity theft is really really real. I mean, every year you have thousands of Americans actually losing a lot of cash, losing a lot of dignity, losing a lot of stuff simply because somebody is actually playing games with their identity. Okay, so it's a real problem. I just want to explain to you that it's a real problem. Do not actually sit there and say, you know what, this ain't going to happen to me because blah blah blah. I'm like, I'm so protected. You just never know, because see, the whole thing is, when I speak about somebody using your identity, it can happen actually in your own family. In other words, you can have somebody in your family actually using your identity. Okay, and so it doesn't have to be John Doe from 5,000 miles away, or Jane Doe 10,000 miles away, or somebody. No. It can be somebody in your own entourage. It can be a friend. It can be a family member. It can even be like like, let's say, a colleague. Okay, so into this conversation, I want to really explain to you step by step, nothing really complicated, step by step, how to check if someone is using your identity, and that's very important, what to do if you see the warning signs of identity theft. Because the whole thing is, there is one thing to actually know that somebody is using your identity. There is another thing, which is another thing about taking the proper steps. You got to take steps to actually protect yourself, but also you got to take the steps to actually make sure the other person doesn't know that you know, right? Think about it. You know, but they don't know. So you can actually counter things pretty easily. Let me first talk to you about finding out. So the thing is that first of all, you want to think about errors or fraudulent accounts on your credit report. So the thing is that you can check for suspicious or fraudulent activity on your credit report. That's the first part I want you to look at. Nothing really complicated. I mean, if you go to a website called www.freecreditreport.com, you actually are entitled every year to a free copy of your Experian, of your TransUnion, and also your Equifax credit report. So this is kind of cool. So what I want you to do is, I want you to take time. You can do this one Saturday afternoon when you're really free. Just sit down, and I want you to go granular. I want you to dig deep and look at the credit report. Okay, and what you want to do here is that you want to look for things like new accounts or lines of credit in your name, or even a sudden drop in your credit score. Like, for instance, let's say the last month or 2 months ago you were at 700, and all of a sudden you go to 600. That's crazy. I mean, having a 100 point drop, that's really crazy. You do not want to go for, so you want to really check for sudden drops. Okay, so when checking your credit reports, you want to look for a fraudulent account. Very important. Look for inaccurate personal information. Look for incorrect employment history. And I want you to look for hard inquiries you did not request. If you have a hard pull that you know that you did not request, this is a red flag. Number one, errors or fraudulent accounts on your credit report. Number two, suspicious transactions on your bank and credit card statements. This is another red flag that tells you, hey, listen, somebody's playing games with your identity. So what you want to do is you want to set a time each week or month to go over your statements. What I'm telling you, this is not a one-time thing. You got to really take it seriously, okay? So set a time each week or month to go over your statements. Don't ignore small transactions, because identity thieves, they know that basically it's a lot easier to make small purchases, to actually test if a card or account number works before moving on to larger ones. Okay, so you want to really pay attention to small transactions and watch out for calls, letters, or emails from debt collectors. especially if you have not actually initiated those debt transactions. The third thing I want you to do here is that I want you to really look at your health insurance benefits. So when your health insurance benefits are used up and you know that you are healthy as hell, that's a big red flag, okay? Medical identity theft occurs when scammers use your health insurance information to receive medical care or use up your benefits. And so if you suddenly find that your health care benefits have been all used up when you know they shouldn't be, or maybe there's incorrect information in your health file, this can be a sign that your identity was stolen, right? So what you want to do is you want to look for signs of medical identity theft. For example, if you are, let's say you are denied health insurance coverage, you receive bills for unfamiliar medical procedures, equipment, or prescription drugs, or have inaccurate information in your medical history, you know there's a problem. You know there is a problem, right? And you want to thoroughly review all medical statements and explanations of benefits, your EOB, okay? Look at the services you are being billed for and make sure you actually receive them. Are the dates correct? If you see any red flags, again, you want to contact your insurance company ASAP. Also, you want to see if your stolen health information is for sale on the dark web. And unfortunately, a free dark web scanner most likely won't be able to tell you if your medical identity has been compromised. Instead, what you want to do is you want to opt for an identity theft protection protection service, such as Identity Guard or other like Aura, for instance. But you want to focus on dark web monitoring. Also, if your tax return is rejected, then you know there's a problem, because if someone is using your identity, basically the IRS will know sooner or later. So scammers may use your identity to file fraudulent tax returns and steal the refund, right? So what you want to do is you want to check for unfamiliar tax documents. So scammers may not change your home address, meaning you could receive tax documents that you didn't request. So be especially cautious if you receive, let's say, a strange W-2, 1099 tax transcripts, or EIN, employer identification number, that you never requested in the first place. You want to log into your IRS Gov account and look at your refund status. You can actually check your tax records, what you owe, and the status of your tax refund online at irs.gov. Also, be aware that if you receive a notification from an IRS account, it has to be legit. So if you didn't open it, then you know there's a big sort of red flag. Also, you want to thoroughly vet any tax preparer you are working with. Be very careful here, because tax preparers can be scammers too. You just never know. So be very careful on that front as well. If you want to check if someone is using your identity, another red flag could be you are locked out of your online accounts. I mean, your online account credentials are often more valuable to scammers than your social security number, because with access to your email address, scammers can request password resets that allow them to access your bank or investment accounts, scam your friends or family over social media, and find sensitive information and photos that they can use to blackmail you, unfortunately. So what you want to do is you want to look for signs that you have been hacked, right? Let's say, for instance, if your passwords no longer work, an online account looks suddenly different, or let's say there are strange messages in your sent folder, that you know something is happening. You want to audit your online accounts and delete unused ones. And you want to also use strong passwords and a secure password manager, right? Use passwords that are at least, let's say, 10 characters long, 10 or 15 characters long, and include a combination of upper and lowercase letters, symbols, and numbers. Okay, I mean, for added security, store all your credentials in a password manager. I mean, this could be a little complicated, but it's just a lot better than actually having your identity stolen. And also, if you start to receive more spam emails, text, and mail, then you know something's happening. Somebody is using, or rather misusing, your identity. Okay, so what you want to do is do not ignore spam calls, texts, or emails. Check the name and information on junk mail before throwing it away. You want to look for credit offers or new cards for accounts that you didn't open in the first place. And if you're in doubt, call the bank or credit union or even financial institution and actually inquire about the account. And this is a biggie. You want to regularly check your spam folder. That's really important. You want to check your spam folder for emails about accounts that you don't recognize. So spam filters do a great job of protecting your inbox, but they could also cause you to miss red flags indicating identity theft. And you want to regularly check for messages about accounts you didn't open, but never click. And I want to insist on that. Never click on links in spam email. Never, never, never. Okay, because this could infect your device with malware or send you to phishing sites. And the Lord knows there are a lot of them on the internet right now. If you want to check if someone is using your identity, think about missing or unexpected physical mail. So mail theft is actually one of the most common ways that scammers gain access to your sensitive information, unfortunately. Okay, so things like credit card statements, pay slips, or even tax documents can actually give con artists everything they need to steal your identity. So what you want to do is you want to be suspicious if your mail disappears or let's say it stops coming. You want to secure your mailbox and sign up for USPS informed delivery. This is another important criteria: informed delivery. So informed delivery is actually a free service that lets you preview your incoming mail each day and track letters and packages. This way you'll know if anything is missing. You can also shred documents before throwing them away. So shred anything that contains, let's say, account numbers, your social, or even your full name, birth date, or phone number. And also, when you have lost or stolen identification documents, this could be also a red flag. A missing wallet, right? Purse or ID. I mean, those things could quickly lead to identity theft. You never know. So if you are missing any government issued ID, especially a driver's license or a passport, you are at high risk of identity fraud, especially when it is a government issued ID. Okay, in other words, an official ID. Okay, it can be a federal or state. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to keep a checklist of what cards you keep in your wallet or purse, and don't carry like sensitive IDs such as your social security card with you. Keep your social security card, Medicare card, and extra credit cards at home in a secure place. The fewer cards you carry with you, the less chance there is of one going missing, right? And beware also of shoulder surfers. I mean, scammers wait in public places to spy on you as you use your credit cards or even other documents, either in stores or online. Okay, there is a crazy world out there, so you got to be careful. And what you want to do here is that you want to really, in terms of when it comes to sensitive IDs, what you want to do is you want to really have a clear idea of what's happening, what kind of cars you have, or what kind of cars you carry at any time. So if you want to check if someone is using your identity, this could be because you received strange employment or benefits documents. So if scammers steal your social, they can use it to apply for government benefits or get jobs for which they otherwise wouldn't qualify. And unfortunately, finding out if someone is using your social is not that easy. And even worse, with the amount of information leaked in data breaches over the past few years, many cybersecurity experts warn that it's almost guaranteed that your social is for sale on the dark web. Unfortunately, okay. So you want to be really careful about any mail regarding an unemployment or other benefits claim that you didn't make in the first place, especially if it's from a different state. Let's say you are in New York and you get you get a letter from Georgia State, the state of Georgia, or the state of Missouri, or the state of Oregon, for instance. You should also look out for signs that someone has applied for benefits in your name, such as receiving an IRS Form 1099-G reflecting benefits that you were not expecting to receive. And you want to sign up for My Social Security account. And the Social Security Administration's free online service allows you really to fill out online applications and estimate benefits. But it also will alert you if someone tries to open a duplicate account using your social, logs into your account, or tries to receive benefits in your name. So that's kind of cool because the government is really helping you here, okay? And do not give your social over the phone, never. Scammers often call pretending to be from a government agency and ask you to quote unquote verify your social. That's crazy. That's just bullshit, okay? This is almost always a scam. Also, when you get notifications from a data breach or dark web monitoring tool, okay? So fraudsters sell account passwords, bank account, and credit card numbers, and even social for as little as $2 or even $3 on the dark web. So while there is little you can do to remove your personal information from the dark web, a dark web monitoring service can help you. That can help alert you to what's been compromised, which can help you even protect yourself against identity theft, which should be your number one goal anyway, right? That's what you want to do, not only for yourself but for your family members. If you want to check if someone is using your identity, you be very careful when you receive password reset requests or, let's say, 2FA codes that you didn't request. So 2FA requests, two-factor authentication codes, okay? Once scammers have access to some of your personal information, what they do is that they try to really break things down a lot more deeply. So never share passwords, pins, or 2FA codes. If someone asks you to give them this sensitive information, they're trying to scam you, that's for sure. Make sure you are using unique passwords for all of your accounts. I want to insist on that, unique passwords. If you happen to reuse passwords, a single breach can compromise all of your accounts. Be especially careful with any account that you are receiving password requests for. And beware also of giving third-party apps too much access to your data, right? Many apps allow you to sign in with Google, Facebook, etc. You just never know. However, scammers may use this as a way to access your sensitive data. So be cautious when signing up for new services, and instead, you want to use a strong and unique password. Also, when you have alerts from an identity theft protection solution, this could be also a sign. No matter how much time or energy you put in, it's almost impossible. I can guarantee you that. It's impossible to constantly check if someone is using your identity. That's where identity theft protection services come in, because when you really think about it, for a small monthly fee, let's say $20 or $25, you can actually have an identity theft protection service monitor your most sensitive information across public records and databases, websites, and the dark web. And you'll be alerted if someone is using your PII personal information, okay, and somebody's trying to access your credit history, and or let's say opening new accounts in your name. So that's kind of cool, because you have the possibility to get things done a lot faster. And go for identity theft protection services that even have a 3-bureau credit monitoring, so that, you know, like if you have near real-time fraud alerts, that's even better, because you are able to actually you can control things from A to Z. That's really fantastic, okay? So those are the ways that you can find out. Now let me give you some facts before we close to this conversation. The thing is that when you think about somebody using your identity, it's all about identity theft, right? And you got to really understand how identity theft happens in the first place. What causes it? So identity theft happens whenever scammers, or hackers for that matter, use your personally identifiable information, your PII, personally identifiable information, without your permission. This includes your name, address, phone number, social security number, and other sensitive data. And so fraudsters have found a nearly unlimited number of ways to get their hands on this information, from phishing emails posing as government agencies to fake websites and scam phone calls. But in many cases, the thing is, they don't even need to steal your personal information from you. Okay? I mean, in the past few years, especially during COVID and after COVID, data breaches at major companies have leaked billions of pieces of personal information to the dark web, including social security numbers, email addresses, passwords, and credit card numbers. So while most identity thieves are better, they're better off with financial information, scammers have evolved their schemes to target their victims in other ways, such as medical identity theft, or that's a big one. You also have a tax identity theft. You have criminal identity theft. You have account takeover fraud. You have a government benefits fraud. That's a big one also. You have employment identity theft. Okay, so that's really important to think about it that way. So if you are a victim of identity theft, there are a few things you want to do real fast. Okay, you want to lock or freeze your credit file immediately. You want to file an official identity theft report with the FTC at identitytheft.gov. You want to call your bank and other financial institutions. Update your online accounts with new, unique, and secure passwords. You want to set up 2FA whenever possible, two-factor authentication. File a police report if you have information that could lead to an arrest. You want to contact any other impacted government agencies. Also, one thing, and this is a big one, you need to notify the Social Security Administration because everything revolves around your social these days. And you want to protect your devices and networks with a VPN and antivirus software. And you want to consider identity theft protection. So this is an important element to think about. So here's the epilogue into this conversation. I spoke to you about how to check if someone is using your identity. I give you the prologue, the way to find out, the facts, and finally the epilogue. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.